South African arms producer Denel could be dropped. Before leaving the US last night, President Nelson Mandela revealed that he'd asked the Clinton administration to drop the embargo. He also said there was a possibility of Denel forming a partnership with the giant McDonnell Douglas Corporation with a view to a joint production of an attack helicopter. Gary Alfonso looks back on the highlights of the President Mandela's 6-day visit.
As expected, the Rooivalk issue was discussed between President Mandela and President Clinton. The South African government is bidding to supply Britain with the Arms Corps-designed attack helicopter, but embargo busting by South Africa's main arms producer is now complicating the import of vital US-made components. That could cost South Africa billions in foreign revenue. Shortly before leaving Washington last night, President Mandela told South African journalists that President Clinton will look into the issue.
We are tendering for a special type of attack helicopter. And for us to win that contract is going to mean a great deal to our economy. It's going to provide jobs, no less than 8,500 jobs.
But the 1994 state visit to the United States by President Nelson Mandela will probably be known as the Standing Ovation Tour. An honorary doctorate from Howard University, the International Hunger Project's Africa Award for the fight against hunger, and the Congressional Black Caucus's 1994 Award for exceptional leadership were just some of the accolades. But the President's address to the United Nations in New York on Monday laid the foundation for South Africa's message to the world and the US. The fight against poverty has begun. In Washington, the South African leader got down to specifics when he met US President Bill Clinton at the Oval Office in the White House. The Clinton administration is serious about assisting South Africa's development plans.
But President Mandela, you can be certain that the United States will continue to do everything in our power to support the new nation you and your South African people have created and now seek so strongly to build. After a half-century of struggle, you've proved to people on every continent that justice and reconciliation can prevail. In a world where too many tear down, you and the South African people have proved that there are those who build up and create.
In the US Congress, President Mandela became the first foreign leader to address a full session of the chamber twice in less than 5 years. An unscheduled meeting with ousted Haitian leader Jean-Bertrand Aristide also highlighted the view of the Clinton administration that President Nelson Mandela is one of the world's greatest peacemakers. And at what was probably one of US Ambassador Harry Schwartz's last official state functions before Mr. Franklin Sonn takes over, President Mandela again said racial imbalances had to be corrected, especially in the State Department. President Mandela returns to South Africa with pockets full of hope. But South Africans might ask themselves where all the assistance and investment will be once he returns. But as President Mandela explained to journalists last night, this has laid the perfect foundation for what promises to be a lasting relationship between South Africa and the United States. And the Clinton administration agrees that South Africa is a partnership they must have. Gary Alfonso, TV1 News, Washington.